Hi, everyone. I'm Hollis, and I am thrilled to welcome you to our very first session of Fall 2022 Fly Together. I'd like to kick off this event by taking a moment to acknowledge and thank all of you for joining us. Today, I'd also like to recognize all of those who are experiencing Step Up for the very first time. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And to those of you who have been a part of Step Up for a minute now, welcome back. Please give us a hello and tell us where you're from in the chat. We are so looking forward to getting to know you. I'd like to take, just before we really jump into everything, I'd like to take a second to introduce you all to some very important people. There are Step Up staff. And at this time, I'll pass it over to Stephanie.
Hi, thank you, Hollis. I am Stephanie Armler, Director of Teen Programs. Very, very happy to have you all here tonight. Thank you for spending your time with us. And now I'll pass it on to Chelsea.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chelsea. I'm the coordinator of Teen Programs here, and I'm tuning in from LA. Very excited to be here.
Hi, my name is Paige, and I am a Teen Programs Recruitment Associate.
Hello, I'm Kaori, and I'm also a Teen Programs Recruitment Associate.
And I'm Riley, the Data Science Associate for Teen Programs, and this is also my first Fly Together, so I'm super excited.
Love it. We are flying together. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. So before we really get into everything, I want to just have us do some really friendly reminders. First, we're asking that everybody right now in this moment, go ahead and take a second to adjust your display name. You want it to reflect three things. So first, we need to have your name. The second is going to be your role today. And third, your pronoun. So you can look at the screen and see what I mean. It's especially important to put down your role, whether you're a mentor or a teen or staff joining us today, so that we know how to sort you into the right group later on. And besides Step Up staff, it's just going to be teens in this group. So mentors are going to be joining us shortly. We'd also like to ask that everyone who is able to, if you could please turn on your cameras. I know we're not physically in person, but we'd love to kind of create that feeling, and everyone with their camera on supports us in creating that safe, brave, intimate space for everybody. And if for some reason you can't turn on your camera today, feel free to message Riley so she can support you as best possible. And then another thing to know is just that everybody's mics are going to be on mute until we go into the breakout sessions in a bit. So feel free to add all of your positive comments in the chat. I'm seeing South Florida in the building. I'm seeing Dallas in the building. Chicago's in here. Oh, Puerto Rico's in here. Yeah, we're all in here, which is fantastic. But want you to know you're going to be on mute. And then finally, like I said before, actually, I misspoke. I said, if you need support, you're going to hit up Riley, but you're actually going to hit up Paige, who introduced herself a little bit earlier. Great. So we are honored to be here with you today. I'm so grateful. You could be doing 50 million other things, but you all took time to fill out an application, commit to all 4 sessions, and you took initiative to join our program, Fly Together, and that's so special. It really speaks volumes about this whole group. So why don't we take a moment to just celebrate that right now? Go ahead, send some love to yourselves, congratulate each other in the chat. I want to see emojis, reactions. This is very, very exciting. You should be very, very proud of yourself. I'm looking in the chat. I don't see nothing. Okay, Stephanie's showing some love. I'm looking for more love in the chat, but I don't see it. So make sure you add it there. This program is filled with so much connection, mentorship, community building, learning, and definitely a lot of fun. So today's first session, our topic is values, and we're going to be discovering what matters to you, what's important to you, what's meaningful to you, and we're going to check out if your values really align with your actions. Then November 9th, which will be our next session, the topic is going to be mindset, and specifically developing a growth mindset. and learning how to train our brain. Love that. And then on the 30th, November 30th, our topic is going to be self-regulation. And we'll be learning different ways how to manage ourselves emotionally, cognitively, behaviorally, excuse me. And then finally on December 14th, our topic is knowledge and skills, where you'll understand your strengths better and how to unlock your potential. So we're excited to get to know all of you. So we're going to be splitting off into our first set of breakout groups in just a few moments. Are we ready? Are we cool to do that now, Paige?
Yes, we are, and we will have 3 breakout rooms.
Okay, amazing. So look forward to seeing you in just a hot second. After we do that, we'll be in our breakout rooms for about 8 minutes. It looks like we're slowly coming back, and I'm just going to ask you all for a little bit of grace, because in this moment, my laptop just kicked me out of our special session together. So just give me a second to get fully back in here. I hope you all had a great time in your breakout. I know my breakout, we definitely got a couple of things that we have identified we share in common. So just give me one sec. Perfect. So just FYI, our group identified that we all had a glass of water today. We love English and we love history. So we all share that in common. And it looks like we have everybody back together. And so want to take this second just to get into our community norms. And this is a reminder that Step Up is a safe and a brave space. So now all together, all we're going to do is kind of co-create some community norms that will ensure that we feel our very best in today's session and moving forward. So as you can see, I already have a few of the agreements in mind that I want to put forth for us to start out. But after I list mine, I'm going to invite you to submit in the chat or go ahead and unmute yourself and contribute some norms of your own. And as you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead, actually, and I believe Riley is going to annotate for us and write down on the screen what we've heard. So the first one that we want to break down is patience. Like, glitches happen. And as I just told you, I just got glitched right on out this session. We're working in a virtual landscape right now. And so some tech issues are bound to happen, which I think a point wanted to be proved in making sure that that one was up there with me getting kicked out. So that's the first one. The second one is step up and step back. So if you find yourself holding back and not really using your voice, go ahead and step up. Like, we really want to hear from you. Take up space. If you're going to take up space anywhere, let this be the space where it happens. But also, we want to check in with the opposite challenge, right? If you are somebody who's always chatting, who's always the first one to share out, make sure that you're making space and that you allow yourself to hear what other folks are experiencing as well. And then finally, challenge yourself. Keep an open mind, really push yourself out of your comfort zone. That's the only way that you can grow. Yeah. And so I'm seeing some additional things being written out. So tech issues for sure are bound to happen. As we said, we want to give ourselves room to talk as we hear from others. Are there any other things that have been put in the chat, or does anybody want to unmute themselves and say, hey, this is something that I think is really important to establish in our time together? This will be a time where, for real, you can unmute and holler it out, and we can make sure that we put it down.
I think we should create connections with like the other teams in here so we can feel more comfortable talking to each other.
Yes, create connections. And you know what? What was your name, love?
Shyla?
Shyla, what a beautiful name. So Shyla, I'd love to add, if you don't mind, one word in that, and that's intentional connections. When are you going to have the opportunity to be in the same room with someone from Atlanta and New York and Chicago and Nashville and maybe even Mobile, Alabama, right? Like, you don't know who you're sharing space with. And so I love creating connections. That is fantastic. I think we have time for one more. Is there anybody else who would like to share a community norm that they'd like to include? You can feel free to unmute yourself.
One, I feel like we should like have a iMessage group chat or a group meet or so if we have like a chance to like get to express ourselves more freely, more so not on the Zoom calls.
Okay, okay. So what well, first, love, can you tell me what your name is?
Chelsea Brown.
Chelsea Brown. Okay. Love that, Chelsea. So to me, I would put that right next to what the young person who shared right before you shared, which is around creating intentional connections, right? So as we go into the breakout rooms, which you'll have another opportunity to do a little bit later, if there's someone that you're really vibing with, whether that's one of the mentors who are sharing or one of the other people who are in the space, like absolutely, there's an opportunity for you to say, hey, how do we continue this offline? So let's make sure that we are really being intentional about creating connections and seeing how we can exchange contacts. And there's the app that everybody can join where you can continue to do that. So we also have something already set up and built into this program that will allow those connections to keep thriving. So I think we have a good round number with 5. These are really great, and if you have some more, put them in the chat. But I'm feeling like we have what we need to feel our best. Would you all agree with that? You can unmute and say, yeah, just because I can't see the chat.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect. You can head back to mute. All right. So I hope that you can tell how much we want you to feel seen and heard and validated, always in the Step Up space. Thank you so much for participating in our norm setting today. These are going to be the community norms for this group for the rest of the sessions of Fly Together. So in a few moments, our mentors are going to be joining us. We are so ready to greet them and welcome them and review our agenda together. So please send some love in the chat when the mentors arrive. They are so excited to be here with you today. And we're going to wait for them to come on in.
And I had a dream that someday I would just fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away. I've been on my own for a minute. Is it only me out there? Searching for the place to begin it. Is it me? Is it you? Is it fear? Standing on the line I was given. People stare and ask me why I'm here. No one seems to think that I fit in. But I don't wanna be like them. No, 'cause I don't wanna be like them. 'Cause I know that I had a dream that someday I would just fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away. I fly away. No one knew how low I was feeling. I was scared to reach for it all, knowing I was here for a reason. But I was scared that if I tried, I'd fall. So where do I go now that I'm in it? I never thought it'd be like this. Dreamed it all my life and I did it. Thought the grass was greener than it is. 'Cause I had a dream that someday I would just fly away. And I always knew I couldn't stay. So I had a dream that I'd just fly away. I fly away.
My name is Hollis Heath, and I am so happy to welcome you to our very first session of Fly Together. Our teens are so excited that you're joining us, and we've already spent some time together just with us, but now is when the real magic happens, and we're all together in our beautiful Step Up community. We have so many inspiring mentors scheduled to join us today. You're seeing them, just a few of them here, and we can turn to the next slide so you can see a few of them on the screen. We also have several mentors scheduled to be with us here from Birdies, Ulta, and Angel City Football Club. Mentors, we invite you to introduce yourself in the chat. And for any mentors who are joining us for the first time in a Step Up space, welcome, welcome, welcome. For any of our returning mentors, welcome back. Please share all of your excitement in the chat. We are so looking forward to getting to know you. So I have a couple of friendly reminders, which I've already reviewed with our teens, but I'm going to spend some time giving a few friendly reminders to you as well. So number one, if you're able, please turn your video on. Even though we're not physically together, we love to kind of create that feeling of togetherness and intimacy, and it really supports us in being able to create a safe and brave space for everybody, even if we're just virtual. Second, everybody's mics are going to be on mute until we go into our breakout sessions. So please add all of your positive comments and your love and your reactions inside the chat box, which is going to be at the bottom of your screen. And then finally, we ask that you could just take a moment to adjust your display name. And we need it to reflect three things. So that's your name, your role, and your pronouns. And you can look at the screen right now and see what I'm talking about. It's really important that you include your role today. And that's going to be whether you're a mentor, a teen, or staff, and you can see that displayed on my name, so that we can sort you out into the proper breakout groups. Something else just to add is a pen and paper would be very useful for our activities today. So if you don't have one around now, I would suggest you gather one real quick, or if you want to use your phone just to take notes, that's going to work too, but you are going to want to like brainstorm a bit. Finally, if you need anything throughout the event, you are going to message Riley. So you can see her name up there now. All right. Well, we want to take a second now and acknowledge our partners. So we can go to the next slide. So Step Up and Birdies believe that all girls should have the opportunity to pursue their dreams of success, and that with the right support system, women can go everywhere. We've partnered with Fly Together, this series that provides the chance for girls to build relationships with peers and mentors and gain leadership skills that will support them in their career pursuit. So we want to thank Birdies for launching Fly Together with us. So listen, we have an amazing mentorship hour planned for y'all today. So here's our agenda. We want to make sure we break it down with you. So first, we're going to have an icebreaker. Then we're going to dig into today's topic of values. We also have some guest speakers from Birdies to give us a little special presentation. And then finally, we're going to get into our breakout sessions with our mentorship activity. I said finally, but I have one more finally. And then we're going to say goodbye and thank you. So we'll wrap up there. And so that's going to be our agenda for today. But I want to jump into our learning objectives so we understand why we're all here today. So we want to reflect on values and understand how they've really shaped our personal experiences, how we've been shaped, by our personal experiences, our environments, and society. We also want to take this time to identify and prioritize our current values by assessing which ones align with our experiences and our perspectives. So that's what we're doing today. And now we want to jump into our icebreaker. So we're going to do a really quick writing exercise as a group, and it's called I Am a Human Being That. And like I mentioned before, it would be really helpful if you take a second now to pull out that pen and paper or pull out the notes app on your phone. Whatever's nearby, like I said, that will work too. So when we consciously acknowledge and accept who we are to our core, what we most desire for ourselves in the world, we can be honest, we can be open and intentional with everybody around us about who we are. And honestly, who am I is one of the most difficult questions any human being is going to have to answer. Since we're all on our own journeys of self-awareness, we deserve the space and time to explore all these important questions. And it's totally okay if you don't get a chance to answer all of the prompts here, because there's a lot of them. So there's no rush. But fill out the prompts on the screen in any way you'd like, and just jot down the first thing that comes to mind. We're going to have a few minutes, and then I'm going to ask for a few volunteers to share their answers a little bit after. So are there any questions that we have about this particular activity? And you can briefly unmute if you do. Okay, I'm going to take that as we're all on the same page. All right, so let's take about 3 minutes and fill this out. All right, all right. Is there anybody who wants to be brave and share a couple of their reflections on this activity, and perhaps what feelings or thoughts came up for you?
I'll
And
go.
Yes.
My name is Alyssa, and I will share a couple of mine. I am a human being that loves pastries and cake. I want to explore the world. I love travel, and the more I see of other countries, people, ways of life across the globe, as well as in the United States in different pockets, I'm inspired and motivated, and just excited to see the way other people live day to day.
Alyssa, did you copy my paper? I feel like we have.
No. How would that have happened? I can't see anything but your face. Was that almost identical?
We had so many of the same things written down. So it was like the whole piece about travel and exploring. I was like, wait,
that's right.
Way over here. Thank you so much for sharing. Is there any teen who wants to join in and unmute themselves and share a couple of the yes, definitely sweets are the best for sure. Any teens that want to jump in quickly and share some of the things that they reflected on in this icebreaker? Thanks for.
I'll share.
Oh, you can go ahead.
All right.
We're supposed to say the things that we wrote on the paper, right?
Sure, or your reflections of doing that icebreaker, what it felt like, anything that came up for you. It's up to you, but tell us your name first.
My name's Alicia.
Okay, great, Alicia. Go ahead.
I'm a human being that loves singing. I'm a human being that wants to be a fashion designer. I'm a human being that has the goal of getting into Parsons Paris. And I used to be afraid of people.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that vulnerable reflection. I really, really appreciate you unmuting yourself and jumping in. I'm going to take one more. And there was someone who was, well, we're deciding between the two of you.
Oh, that was me. I'm sorry. Oh, was it you?
Who was it?
Me?
Yes, go.
So I am inspired by art and creativity. I used to be afraid of my own anxieties because I mostly get anxious by a lot of things. I apologize for my dog screaming in the background.
Your dog wants to be a part of the session. It's all good.
Yes, and I also love my family because they helped me so much, and they still am, in fact, because, for example, tomorrow I have a college board test, and so I really want to succeed to get accepted into college so I can study animation, because that's my big accomplishment to do in the future.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing, and I appreciated the barks in the background. We actually have time for two more. So who was it? Was that Chelsea who was competing with you?
Yes, I'm so sorry. I didn't want to interrupt anybody.
Hey. This is safe and brave space. No need to be sorry. We love that you want to share. So jump in for us, Chelsea.
Okay, I am a human being that loves to dress up and be fashionable at school. I am a human being that wants to continue to travel the world. And I am a human being that has the goal of being a photographer and having my own movie production company.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Chelsea, for sharing
No
that.
problem.
I think Pratika was next. I think I was able to see that in the chat. Pratika, can you share?
Hi, my name is Pratika, and currently, like, I'm a sophomore in high school, and so I think, like, going through it, a lot of the things I could see, because some of them are like past tense, I could see like that I've like improved on a few things. So, like, for example, used to be afraid of, I would say for that, I used to be afraid of, I know this is silly, but I used to be afraid of like bugs and stuff. But I think I know this is silly, but I used to be afraid of it. But I think like over time, I like learned that that was silly. But then also for some of like the more introspective stuff, I would say I am a human being that will one day make a positive difference in the world. So I want to be like, I'm kind of starting to do that with volunteering and stuff, and like creating a girls coding club at school. So I think that like through this activity, I'm able to, you know, think of what I am today and who I want to be like later on. So I think that that's the good thing about this icebreaker.
Oh, I love that. That's incredible. And you said that one day in the future, you said one day in the future you aspire to be, or you hope to be somebody who's going to make a positive change. And it sounds like you are already doing that. So that's incredibly exciting. Thanks so much. Can we actually have one more mentor share? It would be great to have a mentor unmute and share what kind of human being you are. And you can just unmute for us.
Can I be honest? Hi, I'm Megan.
Love
honesty. Yeah.
Yes.
You asked what feelings came up in doing this, and totally and like completely honestly, I drew a blank at so many of these. It's like when someone asks you like, what are your favorite hobbies, and you suddenly do nothing. Like you suddenly have no interest. You don't do anything on the weekends. Like I've read no books. I don't watch any TV. I don't know. Like, so that for me came up. It took me a second to kind of think about, what do I want to do and what does inspire me? And so that's just something that I really felt from the beginning. But I love French fries. I'm a human being that loves French fries, sunshine, my dog. I'm inspired by fashion and travel. And I would like to think I will be remembered by my ability to make people feel welcome when they come into my home or a room that I'm in. I like people to feel comfortable. But that was like my confession, was that a lot of these I drew a blank.
No, but you know what? You just said something really special. You like for people to feel welcome and like they have a room in your space. And for me personally, I think one of the best ways to do that is vulnerability. So you start by being vulnerable and honest and saying, y'all, I drew a blank. I don't know my hobbies. What kind of human being am I? Actually,
no clue.
I lend myself to what you just said around like this safe and brave space that we're creating, right? I think we'll see in our breakout groups as we break down what's really important to us. I'm hopeful that all the teens who are in your space will feel comfortable to really be exactly who they are and authentic, knowing that you've opened that up. So thank you so much for volunteering and sharing that with us. Can I have one more mentor? We'll do one more teen and then we're gonna move on. I'm loving this part. This is like my favorite icebreaker.
I'll go ahead.
Yes, hi.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly.
Great.
But your name, I can't.
My name is Jennifer.
Oh, hi, Jennifer.
Hi, how are you? Hi, ladies, teens, mentors. So for me, when I did this, I think it really helped to kind of dig into the depths of my soul of like how we can really make an impact, as a human being. So I felt like I had some blanks too, in a sense of like what was coming up. And then as I just kind of sat in my heart space, I was like, okay, it just kind of rolled off my tongue, like I want to be of service. I want to inspire others in self-love. So I'll just share a few. I'm a human being that loves my family and friends, wants to inspire self-love for girls and women, has the goal of being of service, used to be afraid of taking risks and stepping out of my comfort. And now I just say, do it,
Yeah,
what's
you
the worst
fly.
that can happen? Yeah. So I really have like pushed myself in that regards, is motivated by kindness, inspired by gratitude, and is happiest when I'm at the beach and I see little white dogs and anything sparkly. That's my thing. So thank you.
I really appreciate it. Okay, do we have one last teen who can close us out before we move into, Sophia, I loved all of them, right? Before we move into the next portion of our time together. Any teens want to jump in and unmute?
I love the feeling, I'm Shiloh, by the way.
Okay.
And I love the feeling, I'm a human being who loves the feeling of air rushing onto my face. I love that feeling. And something I want to do is to improve myself and achieve the best I can.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You all are fantastic. And I felt myself getting all warm and fuzzy inside, just hearing all of the different ways that all of us show up as human beings, the things that we love, the things that we're inspired by. So I hope this was a great way to move into our next part around values. So we can move into, yes, loving the hair as well. We can move into the next slide. Amazing. So we want to talk really just about our values, right? And so we want to define this. So honest and long-term outcomes of importance, like getting an education or family, values develop and evolve as you grow up. You explore and you experiment throughout your life to make sense of your experience to refine your values. So you can think of values as like broad guidelines really for your roles and your relationships. And so I want to take a second just to name what Step Up's values are. So let's go to the next slide. So these are Step Up's values. And I know our teens are very familiar with them because it's, part of the application process. And we asked you which one of these you resonate most with and why. And it was so incredible to read all of your applications and the variety of answers that you all provided. And I'm sharing with you all our organizational values to showcase that not only do individuals hold and shape values, but groups, communities, organizations like Step Up also hold and shape values. So at Step Up, we value people first ideals. And it's through these values that Step Up staff continue to do purposeful work that serves our mission. So here to talk about how her personal values have shaped her professional career, we have Marissa Sharkey, who is the president and co-founder of Birdies. Marissa Sharkey is the president and co-founder of Birdies, the company that created a new category of footwear that's designed to take you everywhere. She's an entrepreneur and a retail executive who is passionate about building brands and experiences. She has more than 20 years of experience working in and leading brands all around the world. She led corporate strategy at Ross Stores. She was a manager at Bain & Company, and there she focused on their growth strategy and performance improvement for Fortune 500 retailers and leading private equity firms. So Marissa holds an MBA from the Wharton School of Business at the University of Pennsylvania, and she got her undergraduate degree, at Cornell. Marissa now lives in Sacramento with her husband and 2 daughters, and she is active in supporting women's organizations, both in her personal and her professional life. Marissa currently advises early stage entrepreneurs in pursuing their passions, and she serves on the board of directors of Women Empowerment, an organization that supports homeless women in building skills for employment. So we are so excited to hear from Marissa. Can we show her some love in the chat? Welcome, Marissa.
Hi, everyone. That is a very nice introduction and the very nice chat. So, you're definitely showing me some of that contagious sparkle that I know is a big value and a value that I also love and prioritize, because there's nothing better than kind of making other people feel good, despite wherever they are in their day, in their life. So you guys are all making me feel very happy to be here. Birdies, for those of you who don't know Birdies, we make very stylish, but also very comfortable shoes. And one thing that, has always been a part of our brand is the sort of love and support that we have for girls and women. And we like to say that with a great pair of flats can take you to new heights, since we make flat shoes. And we also know that, a great support system and a great network can really help inspire you to go anywhere. And so we've done a lot of work with a number of different organizations, but we are very proud of the work that we've done together with Step Up. I think we've done a couple of different mentoring sessions and cohorts that we put together the Fly Together program with. But this is the second one that I've been a part of. And the first one was extremely rewarding for me. I think Hollis and the team do such an amazing job. We're not together for a long time, but you guys really have the program dialed in, that even in the short sessions, I think the teens and the mentors really get a lot out of it. So I'm excited to jump right back in again to the next program. So since we are talking about values today, I wanted to share 2 that are important to me, that I hope give you something to think about, and as you kind of think through what are the values most important to you. The first one that I'll share is passion. Bianca and I started, and that kind of relates to many different things, but I have a co-founder, Bianca. We've been friends for a long time. And we started our company because we both have a passion for bringing friends and family together. And, this isn't the greatest problem in the world, but one problem that we both just talked about that we had was that we never knew what to wear on our feet. We love to host parties. We love to gather people together. In fact, when you asked, what I love in the last exercise, I wrote that, family and bringing people together. And, we would have parties or just dinner at our house or afternoon get together. And, we didn't want to run around in fancy heels in our own homes. And we also didn't want to wear, fuzzy socks. And so it was like our passion for entertaining friends and family that brought us together to originally just create this beautiful and comfortable slipper. It was our customers who told us they wanted the shoes looked too good to keep at home and they wanted, us to make them to go everywhere. So we eventually did that, but it really became, it was our passion for, hosting people that brought us together with this kind of silly idea that has morphed into Birdies. And along the same lines, we've always been passionate about supporting, women and girls and the people who got us to where we are today. In the earliest days of this company, we'd be like shipping them from our garage with friends and family coming by to help us. We would be having like small parties in our friends' houses to introduce the shoes to like our friends. And it was just amazing at the number of people who helped us in many ways, along the way. And so we've always given back through, many different avenues, but that was important to us to be a leading component of, bringing the passion for the things we care about to our business as well. Like the second value that I think is critically important is really openness. You talked about, I think, Hollis, a little bit when you kind of kicked off, I think with the first, teen who was talking about some of the things that were important to them. But, being open and being vulnerable and willing to share and willing to make mistakes is like just sort of like the path to a better life. And it's hard to learn that. And it's hard to keep reminding yourself of it. That's true in work, it's true in school. And, maybe more importantly, it's true in all close relationships that, you're going to form along the way. And it's hard to do, and it's hard to be consistent at it, but being open and willing to try new things and willing to make mistakes is just something that you always have to push yourself to do. And there's just so much richness and, so much to be proud of on the other side, no matter what the outcome is. So those are two things that I try to sort of keep in the back of my head as I'm facing tough times and going through sort of the inevitable challenges, of work and life and building relationships, whatever they are. And just back to my thoughts at the beginning, having done this and seen this program before, I think you guys are really able to create a place where like in 5 minutes of coming together, people are able to be vulnerable and share real things that are going on with them. So I just encourage everybody participating, both the teens and the mentors, to just sort of like relish in that openness and that like space that you guys are very successful. I think it's the music, maybe. I don't know how you do it so well, but you do. I already feel the feeling coming through. So I think there's a lot to gain from the next couple of weeks and the next few sessions. And I thank everybody for participating and for Step Up for just putting such a great program together. It is the sparkle.
Thank you so much for those amazing words of wisdom, Marissa. I just love everything that you shared. And can we show her some love in the chat, everybody? Amazing, amazing. Well, we're going to continue in our learning in our breakout session. So in just a moment, we're going to split off into breakout rooms where you'll spend more time with mentors. You'll spend more time with the teens. And we're going to do a group activity that will support us in prioritizing and assessing our values. Your Step Up leader is going to facilitate the activity, Your Step Up leader, is going to facilitate the activity, as well as the debrief questions that are going to come after. And then we're going to come back here all as a big group. We're going to thank our mentors before they leave. And so just one more note before we go into those breakout groups, you are going to need another paper and pen for this activity. So if you've put away, go ahead and grab it. And I'm going to check in with our team really quickly and find out, are we okay to jump into breakouts, y'all?
Yes, breakout rooms are ready, and there are 3 rooms.
All right. So we'll see y'all in a bit. Hello. Are we all back? I was like mid-thought, mid-sentence, and we got pushed back. So I'll just say to the breakout group that I had, thank you so much again for participating, and thank you everyone. So welcome back, everybody. We hope you enjoyed our last breakout group where you had the opportunity to discuss some deeper diving into exploring values. And unfortunately, our mentor hour is coming to a close, which stinks, but before y'all leave, we just want to give you a huge shout out, honestly, and just share how much we appreciate you all. Please, in the chat, can you show the mentors some love? We also want to open up the floor in this moment to any mentors who wanted to give any last minute parting advice to this group around today's lesson of values, maybe something that you've walked away with in selecting your final four. So if there are any mentors who want to quickly unmute and share for us who haven't shared already today.
We talked a lot about how your values change as you grow.
Tell us
and
who you are first.
Pardon? The one I was left with was happiness.
Okay. Okay. No. I'm sorry. I was looking for your name.
Oh, Hannah. Sorry.
Okay, great.
I'm
Thanks,
Hannah. And we talked a lot about how your values change as you grow, and that is totally okay. Like, you're not going to have the same values as you did last year, but you know, as long as you're remaining true to who you are and your morals in your heart, then it's all good.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Can we have one more? I think we have time for one more, actually. Thanks so much.
Sure, I'll share. I'm Hannah as well, in New York. And I think that this exercise was really interesting to do because it's something that my dad actually kind of taught me to do growing up. He has a laminated piece of paper in his wallet with the 3 things that he cares about the most ordered. And when he has to make a hard decision about taking a new job, moving the family, whatever it would be, he would just take out his list of like things that he valued the most and make a decision by going down that list. So it's cool to see something that I kind of grew up with. You guys are learning it already.
Love that. Thank you, Hannah. Well, thank you once again, mentors, for joining us today. We hope that you were able to have an amazing mentorship hour, and we look forward to seeing you the very next time. So enjoy the rest of your evening or afternoon. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
And now I'm going to turn things over to Chelsea.
Hi. Hi, other Chelsea, but I'm glad you're ready to speak.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I
Chelsea,
love
that's
the
okay.
enthusiasm. I loved
We
it.
love
I was like, do you want the notes? You can do it. No, don't even worry about it. I love that. That was so great. Okay, so now, Chelsea, you can go first. I was gonna say, like, that was such a great mentorship hour. Like, how are we feeling? And we could stop share so we can see everyone.
Okay, so today was a very, very good day for me. It allowed me to hear others people's responses and dig deeper within myself instead of like not being on the surface of the water, but more so getting down deeper into the levels. And I feel like it will help me to become the person who I would like to see in the next 5 to 10 years after high school. And, you know, because like my true goal is like having a lot of money and cars. And it's like, that's only materialistic stuff, but truly understanding how all of the other girls had explained like their story of guilt and like felt guilty of the people, it made me feel like I needed to get closer with other people who I haven't, were just saying with my family in general, because I need to get more closer. And I call them, they don't answer, but at least I'm like giving it a shot to reach out to them. That's a step for like, that's a step first for everything. But I feel like truly today I learned a lot with digging deeper within myself to prepare myself for a better future of success.
I love that. And I think thank you for bringing this up, is to acknowledge is like, some of us maybe don't have 5 people to fill our lists when we're doing that activity, or have like our goals figured out yet to fill that out. So
yeah,
definitely love like acknowledging it. Like, I for sure did not have 5 people, and that's okay, because sometimes it's about the relationship you have with a smaller amount of people than it is about, you know, having a relationship with a lot of people that isn't little wishy-washy. You're saying it's surface, it's not deep. So definitely want to acknowledge that even the instructions of the activity can be difficult, but then actually getting through it, figuring it out, that's what really matters. So I love that. Thank you for being so vulnerable with us.
Thank you, other
Of course.
Chelsea.
I know.
You're number one. I'm number two because I
Oh,
joined.
okay. I'll take it. What group were you in, by the way?
I think I was in group number breakout room 2, I think.
Okay, perfect. So you are a rep for breakout room 2. Love that. It sounds like your group was like so good. Does anyone from group 1 or 3 have anything that they would like to share?
Hi, I'm from group 3. I can talk a little bit about what we talked about. So we definitely touched on how a lot of us realized that we didn't really value material possessions as much, and that it was a lot easier to cross off material possessions rather than having to choose between people and things like that.
Yeah, there is definitely some things that may be a lot easier to, get rid of than others, and that can help you understand where your values are, which was the point of the lesson. So I love that. I'm like, people getting it. It's so great. Does anyone from my group want to share anything that we talked about? Any reflections?
In my opinion, I enjoyed what we talked about today. Like I like the exercise on, for example, what kind of person you are, the things you like to do, what things you would never get rid of in your life in case something happens to you. Because I have a lot of people that mean a lot to me in my life that I would never get rid of ever. So this was a really fun experience, and I hope to do more on the 3 other Wednesdays that are coming up soon.
Yes, no, there's definitely some things that we don't ever think about giving up. So like even doing it in an activity can be hard, which is why before my group did it, I made sure to emphasize this can be a little difficult for some people. So let's kind of start doing it and see what happens. And Adira, feel free to share. I know you unmuted.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say that pretty much the same thing I said in our breakout room about how it like really put things into perspective. So like I kind of knew like what my priorities were in terms of like what things I cared about the most versus what I didn't really care about, even though I felt that they were important to me. And then also what like Hannah said earlier about how our values can change and that's okay. Like that made me feel like more comfortable about like the things I value now, kind of knowing that it's okay that it may change.
Yes, I love that. Like values can definitely change, they can grow, and that's why we always talk about, checking in with yourself, how you're doing, especially when you're making decisions. I love what that mentor said about their dad, like checking off reminding themselves of what their values are, have they changed? What decisions do I need to, make based on how I feel, what I believe in. So I love that. And Shyla said she's feeling good. She enjoyed reflecting about things that she cared about. Yeah, how is everyone feeling? We feeling good? A little stressed, anxious maybe?
I think I'm still really just processing, but I wanted to give a brief just thank you and a source of gratitude to everyone who's facilitating, because it's not an easy story to read and it's not always an easy discussion to facilitate. And you all, Hollis in my group, but just in general, navigated it with such kindness and such empathy. And thank you.
Oh, that was so sweet. Does Hollis or anyone want to say anything specific? But for me, I would just say thank you. Definitely hard reading that story. I messed up a few times. Sorry to my group members, but we got through it. And hey, Hollis, did you want to add anything?
I've just been feeling so full since we logged in together, and again, just honestly appreciate the vulnerability. I think we've jumped in this together, and so I really appreciate the feedback. It's been an honor and a joy to share space with everybody today.
Right. I echo that, what Hollis is saying. And, my group 3, they were great. Amazing. I read over the story more than once to prepare myself to deliver it. So that, because when I first read it, I was like, oh my God, I actually did the activity. And I was like, I can't choose between my parents and my siblings. Like, what? I can't do that. And possessions were easy. I was like, I don't need that. If I got one, I can get another one. But you only get one mom. You only get one dad. I only have one brother, right? I only get one of those. And he's amazing. There's no way. I was just like, maybe if I cheat and put family under, and it's the one thing, right? So it took me a couple of times going over that story before I could deliver it the way that I did today. So yeah, thank you all for the grace and for understanding that part of this is in the delivery is us going through it with you and having the emotions that they bring up for you too.
Pratika, I know you unmuted. Did you want to add anything?
Oh yeah, I just wanted to say that like I think going through like the activities, like the 4 columns, like activities, possessions, people, and then goals, like I think that it really like tested our like impromptu decision making skills and how we were able to prioritize things. But then I think like more than that, those 4 columns are just different things we put in. But then I think it got into kind of the theme of today's meeting, which was values, because like what we got out of those 4 things, because those are what drive what our priorities are. So I think that like doing that reflection, I think that kind of helped us get to like the root cause, because like our activities change all the time, and possessions, I don't think people and goals are as changeable, but I think like values are something that should stay constant. Like you should have because I think that shows your morals and like what you believe in. And then I think that's something that should drive like every single action you do. So I think that what one of the mentors discussed about it being like a fundamental to any action you take, I think that's really important. I think that the activity kind of helped us get to the root cause of why we do what we do.
Love that. Said so well. It helped us get to the root cause of why we do what we do, which is our values. They drive us, they drive all our decisions, from what we're going to do when we wake up to what college we might go to. So I love that you all went on this journey with us, and we're so vulnerable with us, so we appreciate that. So now we loved spending this time with you, but our session is getting closer to the end. So we really appreciate you for sharing, and it sounds like y'all learned so much. Like I learned a lot. So we have a couple of quick Zoom poll questions for y'all, just to see how we're doing, make sure we're doing a good job. Riley is going to put up the poll for us on the screen, and you can go ahead and fill those out. Okay, perfect. So the first question is, after this session, I understand the definition of values, much less than before, equally as much as before, more than before, or much more than before. Okay, let's get a few more in before we go on to the next one. Okay, we can go to the next question. Poll question 2, perfect. After this session, I understand how my values have been shaped by the following: personal experiences, my environment, and other societal contexts. So much less than before, less than before, equally as much as before, more than before, or much more than before. Okay, we're all good with those. So thanks so much. In addition to these polls, we also have a short feedback form for y'all. So you already received this form in the, you should have received this form in your congratulation email, but I will also send it to you after. But we're going to give some time for y'all to do it right now, to complete it, just to see how you did, how you're feeling. We dropped it in the chat and it's also up on the screen. So we'll play some music and we'll give you some time to reflect. Awesome. I didn't want the music to end, but how are we doing? Do we need more time? No rush. I will also send it to y'all in our follow-up email. But we really want to get your feedback, see how we can improve our sessions so we can give you the best experience possible. So we really appreciate you taking the time to fill this out for us because we just want to make this as cool as possible. So thank you so much. Perfect. So also mark your calendars for our next session, which is Fly Together number 2, where we will be talking about mindset. It'll be happening on November 9th at 4 p.m. PST, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Central Time, and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And it will be located here on Zoom, and you'll get all the information through email as well as a reminder text. And we also want to let you know, if you liked what you learned today and you know some friends or maybe some family members who you think would like to join us, we are actually extending our application deadline until November 4th so that more people can come join us. And those who attend 3 or more sessions will become eligible for a free pair of birdie shoes. So if you know a friend who would be interested, you can have them sign up. And if they come to all 3 of the next sessions, you both can get shoes together, which is really cool. So join us next time. Bring someone if you like. It's gonna be great. Okay, for our next slide, don't forget to join our Step Up digital community app. It's a virtual place where you can get access to one-on-one mentorship anytime, anywhere, connect with Step Up mentors, and find additional Step Up resources and content. My mentee Sarah is here today, so very excited that she's here. And very excited to do our check-in. So it's a great place where you can get connected to mentors, like some of the people you met today, get extra resources, lessons, and things like that. So feel free to join. And this is all of our contact information. If you have any questions about our events, want to learn how to get more involved with us, feel free to message either me or Hollis and follow us on all our social media. And we ended early today, so you get some time back. And that's a wrap on our first session. So happy that we got to do this with you all.
Chelsea, there was one question from someone in the chat about how might they share the sign up form with their friend?
Yes, I will put it in the chat.
Great.
Application is in the chat and it is live, and applications will be due November 4th so that they can make it to our next session on the 9th. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you.